What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Roo.
Welcome to Couch and the Roo, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis. Inspiring people to do better, love better, live better, feel better every damn day of their lives. And our Tuesday night show, brought to you by our friends at Front 43 and Cask & Company, just north of Frandor on East Saginaw and Lansing, near the East Lansing border. Had an outstanding time there last night with the co-ed soccer team I'm on Monday nights. And good drinks, good times, little frolic, little fun. Just great setup to hang out at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Jason, how you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? Frolicking around.
That's what I do.
Our sponsors. Do you walk in and go, don't you guys know me here? Or no?
I wouldn't do that.
I can't do it either.
It'd be awkward.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah. It was interesting, though. One of the guys on our team is a speechwriter for Gretchen Whitmer.
Let's go!
And so last night, the whole Supreme Court news breaks on the the abortion perhaps overturn of Roe. During that, and watching him sort of, I've been there where breaking news happens and your whole night falls apart. Watching his night dissolve into I might have to write something here, like tomorrow's going to be hell. was pretty entertaining for it not to be me. Now, that's obviously a big decision, and I'm not saying that I would take that lightly, but watching somebody else's night fall apart, I always enjoy.
You're really happy about that?
I don't know if I'm happy about it, but I'm just happy when it's not me.
He's got to write a speech overnight about Roe v. Wade. I got to say, finally, something down here that I can stand behind. The rallying at the Capitol before we came down here.
Were there people out there?
Oh, God, yeah, with signs and everything.
Wow, signs.
I'm a big abortion guy.
I don't even.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're anti-kid.
Yeah, but I feel like we should be able to abort people like 15 to 40 years old.
You would have taken the George Carlin Act even a little bit further if people know what that bit is.
What is it?
You don't know the George Carlin?
I know Carlin. I need to be refreshed.
Well, his basic whole thing is about how people only care about. And we didn't mean this to be a right to life show. That was not, or not right.
Two segments.
Right to life.
Wait till you get a load of July.
Pro-choice show. I mean, but
Second Amendment Tuesdays.
But his whole bit is that people who are right to life care about the unborn, and as soon as you're born, it's fuck off. No pre-K, no Head Start, nothing like that. Anyway, and so.
Oh my God, we won the lottery!
This show is gone off the rails already.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
They're not all gems.
No, they can't be all
Cabrera
gems.
doesn't hit a home run at every at bat.
Tigers can even play through a little rain tonight against the Pirates. Now, we've got what I think will be a good show, though. We've got a conversation with Dave Birkett coming up on the Lions draft.
Boo.
And look.
Did you ask him what it's like to do a podcast with someone you hate?
Well, I wasn't going to tell people it was pre-recorded either until you just said it in the past tense.
Yeah, but if they're watching on Facebook Live, they're going to see you disappear for 10 minutes. Who gives a shit?
That's a good.
Recorded it early so he could 69 in peace with Alex Heward and not me. I understand.
It is true.
Is it because I rip on Los? He doesn't like me?
No. It was better for him to do it this afternoon. So I
feel bad for Burkett that he weighs Burkett down.
The Los down, you mean?
You imagine?
Weighs him down.
Los weighs Burkett down.
I don't associate.
Doing a podcast with someone you hate? That's bizarre.
I don't associate.
I
don't associate the two together. I try and absolutely.
It's bizarre. Even when you get writer on writer crime, you know it's bad. Like Graham defends any writer imaginable. So
and I 69 half of them apparently.
Yeah, you 69 all of them except Lowe's.
Yeah, apparently that's the case. But yeah, and today was a weird day because I knew it was going to be like this, but there was the breaking story today in my world was Michigan State hiring a new hockey coach, Adam Nightingale, and so I spent the day doing a column on that and talking to the athletic director Alan Haller and talking to Jeff Blashill for a little bit about Nightingale, who I don't think is the popular win the press conference hire. But I also don't think that's what's most important for MSU right now. We got a little sound from Blashill. This is my conversation, a little bit of my conversation with Jeff Blashill today about Adam Nightingale.
This is recorded, by the way.
This is recorded.
I think Adam's got the connections, the relationships, having spent time, again, at a lot of different levels, as, and specifically at the National Team Development Program. He's developed over that longevity of his career because of the person he is, a number of relationships that I think will really help him in recruiting. And people will want to pick up the phone and call Adam Nightingale because they believe in him as a coach. They believe in him as a person. They'll want their, in my opinion, their sons to play for him. They'll want, family advisors will want their potential clients to play for him because he's got those connections and because of who he is. And so I think, recruiting ultimately can be somewhat the ultimate factor in success for collegiate programs. And I think, because of who he is, he'll do an excellent job with that.
Let's go!
So yeah, no,
Tony D was there.
Yeah, I mean, Nightingale obviously was hired by Blashill as a video assistant and then as a assistant coach and was promoted. And so Blashill, who is, known well as somebody who knows how to develop players, he's obviously been in the NHL as a head coach for 7 years and somebody who's thought of as a development guy when he was in the AHL and when he was in college hockey and in the USHL and had that one great year at Western Michigan, which sort of makes him the poster boy for turning around a program quickly. So if anybody knows what it takes, it's him. Now, again, I think Michigan State hockey is also at the point where it's seeing is believing it, right?
And let me ask you, what kind of name that they would have hired would have shocked you? I mean, can you really do shock value where this program is right now?
From talking to Alan Haller, they went out and talked to 5 people who they thought were pretty marquee dudes. And, I mean, I think like a Mike Hastings at Minnesota State would have been a hire that everybody went, whoa. And what Haller went back to is the criteria. He had an advisory committee, which was like Torrey Krug and Ryan Miller and Abdelkader and a number of NHL former Spartans who really kind of helped him shape what they were looking for. And then he trusted his gut on the interview, and then stayed with the criteria. And he the only person they offered was Adam Nightingale. And look, at this point you have to, and I think hockey is new in this sense to Haller, and he had to really put himself into that world and learned a lot real quick. But his 2 hires so far are Mel Tucker and then the volleyball coach Leah Johnson. And we don't know what Leah Johnson will be, but he's kind of taking the same approach where he has a criteria, he knows what he really wants, and he sort of sticks to it, and he follows his gut as well. And there were some things that were really important, and they said Nightingale fit those things. I'll say this, as somebody who's been writing, MSU hockey has been abysmal basically since I got to the LSJ. That's when they got abysmal. And so
you have to quit then.
At this point, when you fired your last 3 coaches, to me, it is all about your next guy is going to be met with skepticism, right? And so
you might as well go young.
He's 42. He's our age. We always like our peers. Anyway,
I saw that. I was like, oh my god.
So anyway, we'll that column will be up if you're listening to this live. It'll be up.
Does Haller have
Tuesday
a time frame of him? Like, how long does he have? Obviously, he's not going to give you specific years, but you know what I mean. Like, does he get a 5-year window or what is it?
Well, I don't know the length of the contract precisely now, but yeah, you've got to give a guy time. Now, the one thing that is interesting is how many guys can you pull in right away? How many guys in the transfer portal now are interested? Does that stuff change? Can you put together a more interesting roster right away? Is this the most MSU hockey we've ever talked on this?
I got to say,
years?
Abortion and MSU hockey to start this show off. It really is hump day. Or is today Wednesday?
It's Tuesday.
Oh, shit. I named it hump day, so you might want to change that.
Yeah, I will. I always do.
I forgot what day it was.
You always put hump day, and I never leave it as hump day. I always put whatever.
Because we don't know what's going to happen on the show. If I'm naming it before the show, we have like Twitter question Friday and whatever. It just names itself.
Right.
I can't name it something if something like crazy happens.
We'll talk about that later.
No, we have to keep going because we have another like 10 minutes to kill. So.
No. We don't have much more time to go. We are also going to have Harry Gagnon on with us a little bit. and do some betting after our conversation with Dave Birkett on the Lions here momentarily. You know, the other thing that sucks right now, first of all, and I lost out on maybe the best, easiest gambling opportunity in a long time today, and I'm pissed off because I was focused on MSU hockey and I wasn't really paying attention and thinking it through. And I should have, if I had, I would have even called you on it. I would have had you bet $100 on this.
I can't get into my account. I'm blocked from every account, even Firekeepers. I have to figure it out. I spent my whole lunch today trying to figure this shit out.
It's not great. We should have ins there to get that done.
No, it has nothing to do with any of the apps. It's my bank and third-party shit. It's just calling people and just getting no answer. There's no resolution, and they give you 12 to 48 hours to wait. It's just like, I'm done gambling. Like, I quit gambling today. I'm like, you guys forced me out. I'm done. I only go so far. That's why it's great weed's legal, because when it wasn't, I didn't chase it. I just was like, I don't give a shit. That's why I could never do heroin or anything like that. I don't have it in me to try to go get it and then have to go steal shit and, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm with you. No. So anyway, today,
what was I saying? All right.
Liverpool, second leg of the Champions League against Villarreal, right, is down 2-0 at the half. And the way this works is it's a 2-leg semifinal. So you play 2 games, one at each, one home, one a road. And they were up 2-0 after the first game and the aggregate scoring. And then Villarreal scored 2 goals in the first half of this. So it was 2-2. It was really tense all of a sudden. The thing is, the way the gambling works, so the gambling, you can bet on who's going to advance, but mostly you're still betting on just the individual game. So Liverpool, which is way better than Villarreal, to win the game outright at halftime when they're down 2-0 in this specific game was plus 1,100. Plus 1,100. And they were way better. They came back, they won 3-2. It was a plus 1,100 bet, the best, easiest plus 111. Instead, I'm writing about MSU hockey, and I wasn't thinking, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, shit. I would if I had been in a normal day, when I make sure I'm not doing anything when the start, you know, during those 3:00 soccer windows, I would have actually called you on this and said, Jason, I'm telling you, just drop a few on this, or I'll drop a few for you.
I was busy voting today. Did you remind people enough today? Why aren't you wearing your I voted sticker?
It's on my coat.
Sticker Twitter guy. I voted. Do your civic duty.
I mostly did it because the LSJ dropped the ball on it. Like, we had no story today on that. I texted my editor this morning. I'm like, Chris,
on voting in Lansing?
On the fact that today was a ballot proposal day for the Lansing schools, because it wasn't in the outer areas or anything. And yeah, we dropped the ball, and like, because I knew it, of course, because my mother's like, I don't see anything in the LSJ. She's not happy in the morning, so my mom's not happy. Then I've got to deal with it right away because she's a subscriber, and I'm trying to take care of business anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where that is.
A ringing endorsement for the LSJ.
Yeah, if you're still listening to this podcast, we do appreciate you. And I will tell you right now, the one thing that it was worth listening for is right now going on at SkyMint, buy one, get one 50% off all house brands. All right? That deal is going on right now at SkyMint. Any SkyMint location throughout the state, go to skymint.com for location information and specials. And, this special got emailed to me. They'll email you the latest updated specials if you sign up. And look, it's a BOGO. There's always great deals going on at SkyMint. Okay, let's take a really quick break. When we come back, Dave Birkett on the Lions draft. Couch in the Roof, presented by SkyMint Premium Cannabis and Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar.
Firekeepers Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play. Get your Vegas on right now from your phone, tablet, or laptop. All the hottest slots and tables, plus sports betting featuring in-game wagering. Download the app at firekeeperscasino.com. Go with the name you know. Firekeepers. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team? Enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi. Sip on handcrafted cocktails or one of 46 beers on tap. Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Wherever you are on your cannabis journey, let Sky Mint Premium Cannabis be your guide, your friend, and your place. Whether you're curious about cannabis or a seasoned connoisseur, Sky Mint's knowledgeable staff will help you with a vast selection of products to choose from to fit your needs. Sky Mint believes access to the best cannabis helps people do good and feel good, so they grow it right here in Michigan, giving you high-quality, locally grown cannabis at highly accessible prices. Visit skymint.com for special offers and location information throughout Michigan, and use the promo code CouchAndRube20 for 20% off your first visit. Sky Mint Cannabis. You'll love this place. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, presented by Skyman Premium Cannabis and our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar. Very thrilled now to have my friend Dave Birkett from the Detroit Free Press, Lions beat writer, pickup basketball star. I don't know if you youth coach. I don't know what else you would claim to be, Dave. Thanks for taking a few minutes, man. I appreciate it.
Pick up basketball star in my own mind, at least.
Well, that's delusion is one of the healthiest things in recreational athletics. I think it's definitely underrated. So you've done, I'm guessing at this point, 742 interview hits on after the Lions draft and before the Lions draft. So after all that, you've certainly had time to let it marinate. What would you say your overall assessment grade of this draft is?
I gave it an A-, and maybe I was just reluctant to give it an A because I've never ventured into the A territory for Lions drafts before, and something scared me about it. But I like what they did. I mean, I thought they got the best player in the draft at number 2 in Aiden Hutchinson, and best fit for their team for that matter. And then I like the boldness that Brad Holmes showed in moving up 20 spots to grab a guy that I thought was the best receiver in the draft in Jameson Williams. And look, I know there's, it's okay to have concerns about his knee, and it's okay to wonder, why are we trading up for a receiver when good receivers can be found on day 2? But I really like the player, and then I think, in the day 2 and day 3, I think they found some depth and took some good chances on some athletes.
So let's stay there on Jamison Williams.
I think there's a difference between there can be a lot of good receivers who, and a couple may develop into stars, whatever. But if you think somebody stands out, you get him. It's the regret about Randy Moss all those years later. Is he that sort of special talent? When you look at him and you look at him healthy, where does he? How much does he stand out in the NFL?
Yeah, I think he's has the potential to be an upper echelon receiver. I don't know if he's quite in the Jamar Chase category, right? A guy that comes in rookie year and puts up 1,500 yards and dominates the league, and you automatically know is one of the top, handful of receivers in the game. But he has the game-breaking speed, the elusiveness, the acceleration to pull away from guys in the open field. And, he's certainly not the biggest receiver. He's not small by any means, but, frame-wise, he isn't the biggest guy. So, it's not going to be Kelvin Johnson where it's this big 6'5" guy running past people and out-muscling people. But for what the Lions needed, for what was available in this draft, and for where the receiver position has gone in the league, I think he's a really good fit.
Where do you think he goes if he doesn't tear the ACL?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, look, he went 12, right? And can't go a whole lot higher than that. I mean, he's probably, Drake London had his own injury issues. He went 8, but, he is going to be back. There's no question about his availability for the start of the season. I think Garrett Wilson is a very good player. He's probably comparable to that, maybe even a smidge above that. I think he goes ahead of Chris Olave for sure. I wouldn't have surprised me if he was a number one receiver, but those other receivers are pretty good too. So I don't know that we're automatically talking about like a top 2 or 3 guy if he's not hurt. I just think he's the best of this group, and other people may have different opinions based on what their teams need.
The Aiden Hutchinson pick, I think there were some people that thought Thibodeau would be the guy regardless. Hutchinson seems, is about as polished as you'll find there. Did you think this was the safe play, the smart play? Where do you put this? Obviously he's a, and I think, let me know if you think I'm wrong here, but I think a lot of people made it out to be too much a safe play. Like, his testing numbers are outstanding. The guy was he's a phenomenal athlete. He's not just some try-hard dude.
No, I agree, and I wrote a little bit about that last week. I was out in Vegas for the draft, and talking to some of the analysts who said that exact same thing, right? Like, some guys are try-hard guys because they maybe don't have the talent to be dominant, but Aiden Hutchinson is a pretty talented guy and a pretty athletic guy who just so happens to have the motor that teams want to, and the plays with that sort of nonstop terror in his eyes that he's going to get after you no matter the cost. So that's a good thing, right? Too. I was talking with Charles Davis from the NFL Network about this last week. Is when did that become a bad thing? I know people have sort of, and maybe when you're at the top of the draft, you're always trying to nitpick, but it seems like people have, there's bad things that they infer from that word that, he's an effort guy when that shouldn't be the case, because I think all coaches want effort from their players, every time they're on the field. So, look, I don't know that, Aiden Hutchinson is, I certainly don't project him to be Myles Garrett, right, the best defensive end in the NFL, but I still think he should be a 10-sack-a-year guy, and the numbers are comparable to the Bosa brothers, and so there's and he's a pretty refined guy coming in. He certainly has a little bit more work to do in that regard, but I think there's some value in his versatility as well.
Now, I remember Roy Williams saying that about the 2009 Michigan State basketball team. Everybody was pinning this North Carolina team against what was a good work ethic Michigan State team. And he said, work ethic is a talent. Like, some guys, and being some of the things that the try hard stuff is a talent. It's not just right. All right. So one of the things you wrote was about Jared Goff and this being, a make or break year for him, and obviously Williams may or may not be 100% by the beginning of the season, but they have, obviously the contract says this is a make or break year. How much do you think they are really still curious whether he can be the guy, or how much are they just playing out the contract?
Yeah, I think there's look, the Lions have always been a little bit higher on him than I have, I think, and maybe the general public, and maybe some of that is just due to the way things unfolded at the end there in LA, because if you think about it, he was an important part of that team that went to the Super Bowl a few years ago, and granted he was surrounded by best offense in the NFL, so that helps. But that's sort of the approach the Lions have taken, is that they feel that if you surround Jared Goff with the right type of talent and the right amount of talent, for that matter, that he can be successful in the NFL. You go back to a couple weeks ago when I asked Dan Campbell about, do you need an elite quarterback to win in this league? And he said no. I thought that was a pretty clear indication that they were going with Jared Goff, and that they didn't think any elite guys were in this draft, and they still feel like they can have success because if you give him a good offensive line, which the Lions have, and you give him, some options in the passing game, and you're able to run the ball and play some complementary defense, well, there's no reason he can't be successful in their eyes. And I think there's probably still a cap on how good he can be, but the Lions are certainly going forward with it this year and kicking the can down the road on an eventual decision, because that's going to have to come before long. Either next year they're going to have to find a different solution, or if he plays well enough, maybe they do start to entrust this thing to him for more than just a year or two, and maybe we're talking about this guy needing a contract extension before too long.
That's the thing. Like, next year is the year they can cut bait with him if they want, but they don't have to do anything with the contract after next year. They could just kick the can another year if they wanted to.
Well, he's got 3 years left, including this year on the deal. So yeah, he can. The Lions are in a good spot. It's just they can get out of it with limited cap, ramifications this year. So still plenty of opportunity for them to make a decision down the road.
Who's the guy in this class, whether be Josh Paschal, Kirby Joseph, or further on down, that they took, and after you really look into them, you go, that guy intrigues me?
Well, I think I probably would have taken a different player in round 2, and that's no offense to Josh Paschal, just because of I thought the Lions had other needs on defense. But I will say this about Josh Paschal: he's a guy that I really liked. And you go back to the week before the draft, I put different scenarios together where, based on who the Lions pick at 2, who they're picking later on down the line, and he was a guy that I had them taking at, I believe, 66, because I thought he provided some of that inside pass rush that they need. And he has a lot of the same character traits that Aiden Hutchinson has at the top, where he's a captain and he's been through a lot, and he's no one would say a bad word about him at Kentucky. He plays hard. He does a lot of the things that the Lions like. So even though I've been pretty honest that I might have gone a different player at 2, I think Josh Paschal can be a really good player for them and really fill a role that they needed. And then the other guy, the tight end, James Mitchell, he's probably going higher than round 5 if he didn't tear up his knee. And again, the same conversation we had with Jameson Williams, where you never know what you're getting coming off an injury. But I think James Mitchell at least has potential to be a pretty good tight end in the NFL.
So this is the dangerous question. Like, how long what do people what are realistic expectations for this year? How high should people allow their hopes to get in terms of competitiveness and playing relevant football in November or whatnot?
You should expect it. I mean, look, last year was, everyone gave them a pass, and rightfully so. I think everyone saw what they were doing, right? They were tearing this thing down basically to the studs. They were going young on defense. They're still going to be young on defense this year. New coach, first-time head coach. A lot of young guys on the staff. New GM. So I think there was a lot of there's a lot of reason why the expectations were low. But you sort of look at the schedule now. You look at the division now. You have to expect with a coaching staff like this that they're able to develop some of the young guys that played significant minutes for them as rookies last year. You had a couple potential difference makers at the top of this draft, and look, I wouldn't pick them to make the playoffs if I was doing season predictions right now, but I don't think it's wrong to expect 7-8 wins, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I'd be disappointed if we're talking about the Lions and they're picking top 5 in the draft next year, because I would think that they probably did not take the step forward that we all expected, and maybe some of those young guys on the roster, there's bigger questions about them than we anticipate right now. So I think they're in a good spot going forward, but a lot of it is still going to depend on Jared Goff and how he plays at quarterback.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the scenario that could get tricky, right? If he is just kind of average, but they're good enough to be in the middle of the first round in the draft, and then you decide you want to move on, and the top 2 guys are, they're going in the top 5, they're going to have to get creative or bold or make them, I mean, at some point, but I guess you can't hold back the rebuild to try to be there again. But at some point, it may not be convenient to get up there and get that guy.
No, it's certainly a danger zone, we don't know that there's going to be an Andrew Luck or Trevor Lawrence caliber prospect in the draft, but you look at what this class potentially could be in 2023, and obviously there's a pretty couple good guys at top, in Stroud and Bryce, and I think there's some the potential at least to have some good quarterbacks beyond that. Kentucky's got a good quarterback. Florida's Anthony Richardson, I think, is a guy that, people will be watching next year, Boston College. So as much as a lot of people want to make this about next year's draft, that is about a 2-person class, a 2-quarterback class, I think it could be more. And so that's maybe why the Lions aren't fretting, right? It doesn't have to be a Bryce Young. It doesn't have to be a C.J. Stroud. It could be a veteran that we've seen on the market here recently. It could be another young guy. So yes, it may be scary to be sitting in that middle of the pack, and then all of a sudden you don't have the chance to get the quarterback that can really propel the program forward. But I think I would, if I was rooting for the Lions, I would take the strides that I want to see out of my team and sort of trust my general manager and my organization to figure out the coaching or to figure out the quarterback situation when the time comes.
Well, Dave, I hope this is the last of the many interviews you have to do, and that you, within your site, can see a nice off-season and some time away. That's Dave Birkett from the Detroit Free Press. Is outstanding coverage. I think you guys know how I feel about him here. You can subscribe to the Freep at freep.com, of course. Always worth it. Dave, appreciate it, man.
You got it. We got to get you out on the basketball court again one of these days. So
I would love that. I would love to play.
Going again.
I would love to play. We'll talk soon, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Graham. We'll see you.
That's Dave Birkett from the Detroit Free Press. We'll take a quick break. Couch in the Roof, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis and Front 43 and Cask & Company.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen, Bar, or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Wherever you are on your cannabis journey, let Skymint Premium Cannabis be your guide, your friend, and your place. Whether you're curious about cannabis or a seasoned connoisseur, Skymint's knowledgeable staff will help you with a vast selection of products to choose from to fit your needs. Skymint believes access to the best cannabis helps people do good and feel good, so they grow it right here in Michigan, giving you high-quality, locally grown cannabis at highly accessible prices. Visit skymint.com for special offers and location information throughout Michigan, and use the promo code CouchAndRube20 for 20% off your first visit. Skymint Cannabis. You'll love this place. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Roof, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis, and our Tuesday night show brought to you by Front 43 and Cask & Company. It is now time to pick the games with our friend Harry Gagnon, presented by Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today. Harry, of course, with extrapoints.com, bestbetcorner.com, and Against All Odds, the podcast with Cousin Sal, and now newly married. Are you still married, Harry?
I am. Hey, guys, I am. But, we're also in the, wedding was Saturday. We're now in the process of moving to a new house. So, I was very calm and relaxed, actually, on Saturday. But this moving, I mean, we all done it and we all hate it, and it's been trying. Like for 4 years we were dating, we never had an argument, no nothing. Everything's cool. I'm a mellow guy. Been married for 2 days, and it's just been crazy.
That's what they had for you, Jason.
Absolutely. Now, Harry,
Jason's up. Jason's the next man up, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Graham?
Yes.
Yeah, June. Yeah. So
beautiful.
I know. I hope I'm as relaxed as you were. By the way, doing a video in the middle of your vows, I couldn't tell, was Angie crying because you were doing that or because she was happy she was getting married to you? I mean, you're unbelievable. That was great.
I know. That was, not to mention, a lot of her family's from Utah. A lot of them are Mormon.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know how that was going to really go off because they really don't know what I do for a living. And they were probably a little, missed, but, it went over well. Okay. She was fine with it. She kind of knew that I was going to do something. She had the feeling I was going to do something. I didn't give her exactly what, but it went good, and I escaped, guys. I escaped.
Mormons love Vegas, though, so you should be good there with the gambling aspect.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's.
I mean, it was. I don't know. It was good. Everything went well. I'll say that. It was pretty funny, and I think it's up to like 50,000 views on Twitter, which is crazy. But yeah, it would have helped if the Celtics would have shown up on Sunday.
Oh,
right?
I felt bad for that bet because it was like a minus 200.
But if you're going to do it on your wedding day.
Right.
I mean, the people that were still busting your balls, Harry, it just goes to show you that everyone loves when you fail.
Well, and that's the funny. I had Jay, you see me a little more probably on Twitter, just going on with these Twitter trolls. I mean, everyone wants to bash me because I took a minus 200, but the day before when I took the Tigers over Kershaw at plus 250, no one wants to give me credit for that one, though, do they?
And you should, because you know who's the most overrated pitcher in the history of baseball? Clayton motherfucking Kershaw. Because every time I bet him, he doesn't come through. The guy he's the Omar Infante of Hall of Fame pitchers.
We're dropping MFers now.
I knew I should have laid off that one. I went the other way on it, Harry. Obviously, and by the way, I was telling Jason earlier I missed out on a beautiful opportunity to make a lot of money. At halftime of the second leg of the Champions League game today between Villarreal and Liverpool, Liverpool's down 2-0, and Liverpool was plus 1,100 to win the game. And I nearly jumped on it, but I was working on stuff and not paying a whole lot of attention and didn't do it. And the regret is deep right now. It's hurting.
Well, it's deep, but we could always say something to that aspect in a hockey NHL game or somehow, some way, maybe in an NFL game. But in a soccer match, it's so hard. And when you're down 2 and you have to win in regulation, that just doesn't happen. I mean, but a team like Liverpool could do the possibility of coming back, but they still don't do it.
Yeah, but still getting Liverpool plus 1,100 and they score, 3 goals. I mean, it's not that. Once they get going, Villarreal had to open because you're in the second leg too. Villarreal wasn't really ahead; they were behind as soon as Liverpool went down to 2-1, so they had to open things up. And I may never get an opportunity like that again. I'm miffed.
Yeah.
So one of the things I know you're into right now is Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL.
Yeah.
How should we bet this?
Well, that's interesting. Look, there are a bunch of guys out there that, were great in college, as we know, but we don't know exactly how much playing time they're probably going to get. But I think, guys, the wide receiver out of USC, Drake London, who went to the Falcons. I like him at 7-1 just because, in Atlanta's receiver situation, no Russell Gage anymore. He was Atlanta's leading wide receiver last year. Calvin Ridley, we don't even know what his situation's going to be with the gambling thing. I think it's a perfect scenario for London to put up big numbers. He probably gets a start immediately in this offense. Now, Mariota's his quarterback, so that's a little bit of a question where you got to say, well, is it going to be Mariota? Are they going to go sometime at some point with Desmond Ridder? I don't know, but I still think London at 7-1 is a play here, especially when Kyle Pitts had a nice season. The tight end, who's kind of like a wide receiver for Atlanta out of Florida, had a nice season, but still he's going to probably be double teamed. That will leave Drake London available, and I think at 7-1, it's pretty good here, where he's going to get plenty of playing time.
Yeah, and you don't have a quarterback this year that's probably going to take the be in the Rookie of the Year contention either. So it's going to be that's a great play.
If Pickett does some things with Pittsburgh if he plays,
I guess
away,
so. Yeah.
Yeah, is that exactly right? But right now, would you say he's the starter? Would they go with Rudolph? I'm not sure.
It would take injuries for sure, like Tannehill. If Malik Willis fills in for him after Tannehill gets hurt or something like that, I could see a long shot like that happening.
Yeah, I think maybe even in your guys' neck of the wood there that you guys saw plenty of, maybe even with the Jets here, maybe something like Breece Hall, who can come right in. Maybe he gets the start. I know they went with that rookie out of North Carolina last year, and he had about 600 yards. But Breece Hall, you guys know, at Iowa State was a touchdown machine. I think he had 24 straight games where he's had at least a touchdown. Now, it's with the Jets here, but the Jets did a great job in this draft, and I think they're only getting better. I think Zach Wilson's going to be much improved from his rookie season. I kind of like maybe Breece Hall taking that nod. Maybe he gets 800-900 yards here. Maybe he's a long shot to look at too.
Yeah, and the problem, I know a lot of MSU fans will want to touch on Kenneth Walker, and the problem with Kenneth Walker is he's going to a bad Seattle team without a great offensive line and without a good quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not going to get opportunities, but I just don't know what that's going to look like.
You have to go beast mode 2.0 for it to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you know what? We mentioned that, guys. We mentioned that on Against All Odds today. That we mentioned that situation with Kenny Walker, but yeah, Carson. Carson is a running back for the past couple of years, but he gets banged up plenty as well. And they try to rotate certain running backs there. But the big thing, again, with Seattle is who's going to be a quarterback for them.
Is there anything you like in the NBA right now, tomorrow night with Philly and Miami, the Mavericks, Suns, or anything you like in the NHL for us?
You know what? I do like the Suns tomorrow. I'd lay the 6. I know it got close last night when they were up double digits, and then Mavericks were a 3-point away from covering. They missed, so the game landed on 7, and I know the line went to 6.5, so the Suns covered. But I think the Suns are back where they're supposed to be here. Finally, the Suns got an offensive production that was worthy of mentioning from Jay Crowder. Since that 4 of 6 game by Ayton in the first round against New Orleans, he's been lights out. He's getting 20-plus points a game. His shooting percentage is about 65% since then. Chris Paul's doing what he needs to do. Booker played a little, didn't shoot great last night, but still poured in over 20 points. I just like the Suns situation. You can give Luka what he wants. The Suns basically did last night. Go ahead, Luka, get your 45. We're going to shut down Brunson. We're going to shut down everybody else, and we're going to win this game going away. And not to mention, the Suns now, with that win last night, have beaten the Mavericks 10 straight times.
Oh, man. Okay, so what do you think of this? What do you think of the Heat and Suns money line parlay tomorrow night? Heat minus 435, Suns minus 255. A little bit of an okay payout, not quite even money. What do you think of that?
It's really good. Isn't it really good?
Yeah.
Because of course we know the no Embiid situation, but is it me or just like is Harden he's just like a shadow of what he used to be. He can't shoot. I don't think he wants to shoot that much. He wants to be able to distribute the ball and rack up the assists and let maybe Maxey and Harris get the points while he gets easy baskets for everyone else. But it's not coming so easy, especially a team that's very good defensively like Miami. And I don't think Harden just wants to shoot because he just doesn't have it, and he doesn't want to have he's always flopping in the playoffs and tanking. So I don't think he wants to shoot have a game where he goes 6 for 24 and then everyone's bagging on him. He'd rather pass it. But if he keeps doing that and no one else is contributing, Miami's an easy win.
I've got a couple to give you and ask and see what you think of. All right?
Yep.
So I really like tomorrow, 3:00 on Wednesday, Man City versus Real Madrid in the second leg of their Champions League. Man City's up 1 on aggregate goals, right? So they've got to they can't screw around. Like, it's too easy to have something go wrong. So they've got to really play here. They just saw Liverpool winning the other one. They are plus 108 in the money line. I know they'll get through if they draw. I think Man City's a better team. I know it's Real Madrid, but you can be plus money on this Man City team, which I think, along with Liverpool, these are the best 2 clubs in the world. I'm taking it all day. I'm heavy on Man City. What do you think of that?
I like it too. I just think that Real Madrid didn't play great last week, and I actually had them in a match at minus 245 last week, and they didn't get there. Maybe they just don't have all the players there. I'm not positively sure, but with the line showing, I'm seeing plus 105. You said what, plus 108? I think Man City's that's a nice solid number here to get the W.
Another one I love this weekend: Liverpool at home -1 at minus 137 at home against Tottenham. And I know Tottenham's playing for a lot, and they're pretty good. And I know, but Liverpool had the early game this week on the and they've already qualified, so they got the Tuesday game, and then they're at home. They're playing for everything. Everything's still going for them. I just think, first of all, if they only win by 1, you get your money back. And the way this team scores, there's a really good chance. I don't mind the juice at minus 137. What do you think about that?
I like that too. I mean, I like Liverpool. Tottenham, actually, last couple of games when I've checked out their stuff, not that much scoring lately. Normally they were. A lot of times they had like 3-4 goals in their matches. Not much scoring lately. I like Liverpool doing. I was going to throw one out there to you on Sunday, early Sunday morning. I'm going to probably play this too. I know Norwich is terrible. We've discussed this many times. But boy, I think the thing at West Ham's offense, lay in a $1.25. There's no. I mean, even if they don't put forth the full effort that they normally probably would, knowing that the Norwich is in town, I still think at minus 125 West Ham's a play.
I think that's in Norwich though.
Norwich, right?
Norwich is home, but
yeah.
Still, I'm with you. I mean, West Ham's a little concerning, right? Because their focus has been on this Europa League stuff, and they play on Thursday, but that's the Sunday early game, right? So they got a couple days. I'm with you. Norwich is awful. They've just been relegated. Their heads are out of it. Like, give me West Ham all day. I think that's a great play. Jason, how do you feel about these Premier League picks we're hitting?
I would rather help Harry move than watch soccer. Harry, let's talk a little Wells Fargo real quick. Wells Fargo.
What do you like?
Okay, real quick. Leishman, outright 30-1. Top 20 is what I'm going to play. I'm going to sprinkle on outright, but top 20 is playing plus 220. Last time he played here was the 2021 Travelers. He finished third, solo third, one shot out of the playoffs. So that's what I'm going to play. What do you got?
I'm going to root for you, but I will tell you this. We bet golf. I don't know how much Graham bets on golf, but I know me and you do a lot, Jay. And it's just, they're just certain guys. There are a handful of guys that no matter what you do in terms of taking them or betting against them, when you take them, they're awful. They don't make the cut. When you bet against when you bet against them, they're phenomenal. Leishman is one of those guys for me. I just can't get him right. So I'm going to stay away from Leishman, but I will root for you here. And I know this is kind of a homer pick here, right here, in terms of a favorite thing. But Rory at plus 750, I really like the way he's been playing lately. He was excellent at the Masters, especially on that Sunday. So he's at plus 750. And in the matchup, I know you got to lay a price here at minus 160. I'm taking Rory over Tony Finau at minus 160. Finau we haven't heard from him in months. It's been maybe even close to a year where he hasn't done anything. He hasn't been significant at all. I'm rolling with Rory this week.
I think golf makes you hate the individual player more when they screw with you, because golf is a cruel bitch when it comes to gambling for sure.
Well, in golf, Leishman is like Clayton Kershaw. That's what he is. Every time you bet him, he sucks, and then
just need a top 20. Just need a top 20 plus 220, man.
I mean, it's like it's almost like a baseball game. It's in the eighth inning. You're up 5-1, and your closer's coming in. And you got this thing locked away. But in golf, you could have 4 holes left. You have a 3-shot lead. All it takes. One guy gets in the match. One guy gets a birdie. Your other guy gets a double bogey, and he puts it in the water. All of a sudden, your 3-shot lead with 3 holes to go just went to nothing. It can be crazy in golf.
Yeah, I bet the majors. I stay away on the weekends because I always lose in golf, but I enjoy it enough to do it, and that's
it is fun.
Right.
Yeah, it absolutely. Harry, you are a beautiful man, and I hope your marriage makes it to next week, and we can talk then.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Terry Gagnon from Against All Odds and the Best Bet Corner and ExtraPoints.com. We appreciate you staying with us on this show that went off the rails early, but was rescued by Dave Birkett and Harry Gagnon.
Yeah,
per usual. Guest rescue.
Always.
Yeah, that is the best. We appreciate Front 43 and Cask & Company. As good as a place that there is to catch games. Just an awesome TV setup at both places. I think the TV setup over the bar at Front 43 is just my favorite in the world. And Cask & Company, if you're going to go on a date but you don't want to miss the game, I'm telling you, this is the spot. Outstanding menu. Great beer selection. And at Skyman, right now, buy one, get one 50% off. Going on. Great deals. Go to skymint.com for location information and specials. Jason, good show, man.
Yeah, man.
We will be back Wednesday night. We're doing an early night. Yeah, Twitter question show Wednesday night. We'll get the Twitter questions out, and we'll talk.